Welcome, everybody, to the Business Owner Spotlight Series. My name is Kelly Pites. I'm the CEO of Action Coach Tidewater, Virginia. Today, I have Alan Beal. He's the Chief Executive Officer of Armed Forces Brewing Company as my guest today. Today, we're going to be talking about Armed Forces Brewing Company, Alan's journey to CEO and his role in helping build this company, the challenges, the best practices, and share a peek into what it's really like to build and operate a business. So if this is your first time on the channel, be sure to like and subscribe to get notifications and when we drop new conversations in just like this one. Welcome, Alan. I really appreciate you taking some time with us today.
Kelly, thanks for having me.
So please give us just a brief overview of your background and just tell us a little bit about Armed Forces Brewing Company.
Sure. I'm a 35-year food and beverage consultant and come from a huge military family. I didn't serve myself, but grew up in the military community. My grandfather was in the Navy, my dad in the Air Force, my brother in the Air Force. We got two uncles that are Marines in the family, and then we got an uncle and three cousins that graduated from West Point. So we've been through a lot of deployments as a family, and being in the food and beverage industry and coming from that military community, a couple of my partners had an idea to form a craft beer company that made beers that tribute the Naval Academy in Annapolis, Maryland. I was in Washington, D.C. doing a bar rescue there at a bar that had been around for about 40 years. And I ran into them at a function an event that I was holding, and they approached me about this. They said, "Hey, we got this great idea. We don't know how to move forward with it, but we think it's a great idea." I actually had never been to Annapolis to the Naval Academy. So I went down there, saw Annapolis and the Naval Academy, and I already knew, coming from a military family. And I'll tell you what, Kelly, the lightning struck and the thunder roared, and I literally picked my family up and moved to Annapolis, Maryland, and started developing the concept called Seawolf Brewery. We were just going to make beers that tributed Naval Academy service and some of the traditions that they have. Well, as soon as I put it out on social media, service members and veterans from all over the world actually were hitting me back on social media saying, "Where's our beer?" The airmen were saying, "Where's my beer? Where's Marines? Where's my beer? Army, where's my beer?" So I had to go back to the drawing board and redevelop the concept into Armed Forces Brewing Company. So we make beers that tribute each branch of the service, the traditions within the military. We've got an award-winning brewmaster who's won the Maryland Governor's Cup for brewing excellence twice. His name is Bob Ruprecht. And we just got a great partnership and advisory board of veterans.
So to set the stage for our viewers, generally speaking, what's the current ownership structure look like for Armed Forces Brewing Company?
Well, I'll tell you what, long story short, we formed a partnership, a board of directors. That's Robert J. O'Neill, myself, two of my other partners, and Bob Ruprecht. And we got a beer out to market, and we sold #1 in the Annapolis Military Exchange store. That's the Nexcom store there. And just started, everybody wanted our beer from all over the country. Where's this brewery? Where's this beer? I want it now. How do I get it? And we courted the venture capital community and the private equity community and angel investor community for years and just got tons of no's. The craft beer bubble had burst. We don't believe in your numbers. We don't believe in your brand and all that good kind of stuff. And we had to find a way to fund the company because we knew that this was going to be huge. And we were proud of the product and the sales data that we had, and we had to figure out a way to fund the company. So I found a company called BrewDog online. It's two guys out of Scotland that started brewing beer in their garage with their dog. And today they're a $2 billion company. They've got brewing facilities on 4 continents. They own about 135 tap rooms around the world, and they have 250,000 plus shareholders in their company. Okay. They've raised about $200 million through a program that was put in place in 2012 called Regulation A. This is an SEC program where private companies like mine, small businesses, can go and raise money from anyone in America. You don't have to be an accredited investor. So I saw the success that they had, and I don't know if I said this, but they raised $200 million through this Regulation A process. So I found their securities attorney and I emailed him, thinking I was going to get a no, Kelly. And he emailed me back in about 15 minutes. He said, I love your brand. I love your mission. I love your team. I'm in. So he took us down the path of this SEC Regulation A program. So we launched our first public stock offering. Now remember, this is a private company, and it's not an IPO.
Right.
This stock is not publicly traded. But we launched our first stock offering on July 4th of 2021. It's a $7.5 million round. And we raised $7.5 million from 9,100 shareholders.
Mm-hmm.
We came to Hampton Roads and we bought a brewing facility in Norfolk, Virginia, biggest military market in the country, biggest and greatest, and started brewing our own beer. And we closed that round last year in about July of 2023. And we opened a second round. That first round was a $10 share price, $200 minimum buy-in. We closed that round, opened our second at $12.50. So everybody who got in early saw a 25% bump in their stock value on paper. So this is the path we're going down to fund the company. We have today over 10,500 shareholders in our company. And this second round is a $5 million round. We're going to go open another tap room and continue to grow the company. Walmart picked our beer up. Publix picked our beer up. Winn-Dixie, Food Lion, Harris Teeter, Total Wine, Carnival Cruise Lines picked our beer up. We're in NASCAR concessions at 3 racetracks, and we're just exploding in growth.
That's really awesome.
A long-winded synopsis.
Yeah, I mean that's awesome, and it's a great example. If you have a passion for something and you believe in it, that you'll find a way to fund it. I talk to business owners or people that want to be business owners, and a lot of times it's I don't have the money. It's like, well, if you think this is the right thing, you will find a way to fund it. You just do the perseverance, right? So that's awesome. So you're the CEO. Well, and the other thing about what you're doing with that, so you're a C corporation, I take it then? A C corp?
We are.
Yeah.
We are.
So the other thing is, what a great way to build that community. I mean, of shareholders. You don't have to put a lot of money in, but now you're part of this bigger community. So that's awesome. So tell us, as CEO, tell us about your role there that you're currently playing, kind of what you do, big picture.
Well, we're still a true startup, so we don't have a full corporation team on board. I'm wearing a lot of hats as the CEO. We're over 80% veteran and military family employed. So we brought on a chief marketing officer here recently, who's a former U.S. Air Force special operator. And, we're growing the team. And it's the entrepreneurial side of this is just absolutely, what's the word I want to use? It's energizing. It's so fun to watch the growth. And like I said, I wear a lot of hats in the company, from being involved in all aspects of the company, on the financial side, on the marketing side, on the sales side. And it's just, we have a great team of veterans from the beer industry and from the military community. So we put all those things together and you got a special sauce going there. And it really helps, like I said, that you have an award-winning brewmaster. Your product has to be good to scale like we're scaling.
Yeah, absolutely. So when you look at your role, the many roles you have, like you said, how many hours do you spend working in your business, doing your jobs versus how many hours on the business strategy planning, things like that?
Yeah. So The answer to that is a lot, practically 24/7, if you want to know the truth, as the CEO of a growing company like we are. If it wasn't for the investment of our shareholders, we wouldn't be going down this path right now. But we put in a lot of hours, a lot of traveling involved, opening up other states, going around and spreading the proselytizing the brand and the mission that we're on too. We have a huge give back mission with our company too. We do a lot of veteran and active duty military outreach. Kelly, you are here in the Hampton Roads community. We fed 97 active duty military families over the holidays that experienced food insecurity. We have the second highest rate of food insecurity in the country here in Norfolk amongst active duty military families. And so we do a lot of veteran outreach with a lot of other nonprofits as well, and assist with veteran homelessness, PTSD, and the veteran suicide epidemic that we have going on in our country, and also food insecurity.
Yeah. So let's move on to what makes your business so special. You talked about it a little bit, but primarily, I mean, who does your business serve? If I were in the audience, how would I know that it would be a good fit for me to buy your product?
Sure. So we might be a military first responder tribute focused brand, but we're for everybody. I think a company's core values dictate who your audience is as well. We're making great beer, so even those beer aficionados will love our beer because we've got a lot of different styles that we're making as well. But veterans and active duty military family members, first responders is our consumer base and our audience, and just people that love America as well.
So you have a tap room in Norfolk. What makes your business unique? Why do customers choose you?
Well, I think they choose us for several reasons. Number one, because we're making great beer. These chains that we're in, that we've exploded in, all those buyers and all these distributors that have picked us up. We're in 10 states now and opening up 3 more here pretty quick. They taste our beer. A lot of distributors and a lot of chains are purging beer brands, not bringing new ones on, especially a startup, like us. But I think we really resonate with beer drinkers, and who doesn't love a can of patriotic something? Who doesn't love that? I think there's a big patriotic push out there in American society right now, and it's resonating with the consumers out there. And I think our give back program that I was talking about earlier, our outreach, we're not just making beer and growing a company. We're doing good things. We're using our success to do good things.
Yeah, being a big part of that community in every aspect is super important. So how do you compare with your competitors?
Well, I hate to tear the Band-Aid off a wound, but during Bud Light's marketing faux pas there, we scaled, our sales went up about 600%. I ended up going on a lot of national television stations to talk about that and our brand, what differentiates our brand from others. And again, we're trying to be as non-political as possible, but we were just kind of thrown into that conversation, if you will.
Yeah.
And it did benefit the company. We were replacing a lot of Bud Light handles, because of the patriotic message, I think.
Yeah.
We're a beer brand for everyone from all walks of life, not just one segment. But I think people try to segment you into what category you're marketing to, and we're for everybody. We care about everybody. You should see our team. It's as diverse as the military is,
Yeah.
So Yeah, we just we're scaling, we're growing, we're competing with the big boys out there. We're competing with the big domestic beer companies, and we're competing with the big craft beer companies.
Yeah, that's got to be exciting. So what's the one thing you wish more people knew about your business?
I think that we're for everyone. We're not just, I think a lot of people say, well, if I'm not a veteran, can I drink your beer? Can I come to the tap? Of course you can. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Everybody can. And we've got it's just a welcoming environment. Our brand is welcoming for everybody. The tap room is welcoming for everybody. And I mentioned that about the diversity of our military. My God, we have people from every walk of life you could think of that have served our country, that have signed on that dotted line to give their lives for us. And we don't exclude anyone from that.
Yeah. And and it's funny because the military is simply a cross section of the United States. Across it is. We have, and not everybody understands that. I was a recruiting commander and having to deal with schools and getting into schools, and the preconceived conception that some people have is crazy. But we're a cross section. Military is a cross section of society. So this kind of leads me to marketing. I mean, that's something that's vital to every business out there, and it's often an area that many businesses struggle with. So I'm curious what successful businesses are doing. So what percentage of your monthly sales typically is invested back into your marketing budget?
Well, again, we're a startup. We're sinking a lot of money into marketing. A lot. That's a really high percentage there right now. We're getting out there. Like I said, the chains have picked us up, and we're not just on a shelf in a Publix. We're going on their incentive plans where they give us aisle space. So we're sinking a lot of money into point of sale, a lot of money into Facebook ads, a lot of money into events where we've got a lot of sponsorships out there. We sponsored NASCAR, 3 tracks, Talladega, the Richmond race, and Homestead, Miami. Our beer sold out at Talladega halfway through the race, which was a great indicator there. We sponsored the Norfolk Tides. Baseball. We sponsored the Norfolk Admirals. So we're doing a lot of marketing out there and spending a lot of money getting our brand out there as we get through this startup phase.
So you just mentioned, lots of different things. How many different marketing strategies are you using?
Oh my gosh. Probably about probably about 8 right now. We've got the investment side, we've got the beer sales side, we have an apparel store in our brewery that's taken off. It's an upper level apparel store. People are buying all over the country, are buying our t-shirts and our merchandise now, and that's taken on a life of its own. So we've got to market that as well. We got the sponsorships I was telling you about. Carnival Cruise Lines we're in 13 ships right now. They're putting us in 18 ships. People from all over the country go on a Carnival cruise line, so we've got marketing strategies for like each of those kinds of segments as well, if you will. Carnival Cruise Lines, NASCAR, military marketing, civilian marketing, veteran. We're marketing our good deeds as well, our give back programs. We've got a beer that we donate a percentage of our proceeds to the John Daly Major Ed Heart of Lion Foundation. John Daly, the golfer. Major Ed Polito's a Purple Heart recipient, and he's on our advisory board as well. So we've got a segment that we market for that as well. And another one, we have a Death from Above coffee porter. It's a tribute to Air Force bomber wings. It's a delicious beer, but that's connected to Code of Vets, a nonprofit that helps veterans that are experiencing chaotic economic situations, like about to be evicted and go homeless. Those trigger mechanisms that can prompt a veteran to take their own life. We're working with that. So we're donating back. These are all different market segments and campaigns that we're on.
Yeah. So a lot of different things you're doing in marketing. What's the one marketing strategy that's done the best for you, that's brought you in the most business?
I think events, beer festivals, muster events, sponsoring concerts. We get our brand out to the masses. You know, those thousands of people go to these events. We have a lot of them right here in Hampton Roads. My gosh, 10 to 50,000 people come to these events. And I learned that from living in Annapolis, where we have commissioning week at the Naval Academy. You know, 50 to 100,000 people converge on downtown Annapolis and watch the mids graduate and all that stuff. So those events are great tools to get the word out about your brand and your company.
Yes. So, what approach have you taken to track those leads or track which marketing is doing best?
Yeah. So this our company, excuse me, our company is two-pronged. We've got the beer side and we've got the investment side with the SEC program.
Mm-hmm.
So we do a lot of hand-to-hand marketing. We call it hand-to-hand combat. We have a lot of cards with QR codes on them that we hand out at these events that we sponsor, that we participate in. One side of the card has a QR code that goes to our beer locator, where people can find out where to buy our beer at. The other side of the card has a QR code that goes to our investment site at ownarmedforcesbrewingco.com, and they can go and invest in it takes about 5 minutes or less to do so. So that we're able to track those QR codes. There's some technology that we use as well in our company, at a technology platform that interfaces with sales data from our distributors. They sign up for it, and then we're able to extract all of their sales data and get in and look at that data and mine that data and make good marketing decisions and sales decisions off that data.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, marketing is math, right? And you got to know what's working and what's not. And that's a big challenge for some businesses. They throw
Absolutely.
things that don't really work and they don't even know. So, so we spent a bunch of time focused on the business and sharing some of the best practices. Appreciate that. I'd like to take a step back and dive just a bit into your journey a bit more. So looking back on your journey so far, I mean, you've been with the company for a while. You talked about why you got involved with it, but what's been the most memorable roadblock or hurdle that you were challenged with, that you were forced to overcome?
I think the biggest obstacle that we have as business owners and business people is the economy, Kelly, and you touched on that. We've got some inflation going on in our country right now. Prices are going up on everything in my industry, in the manufacturing. We're buying aluminum cans and labels, and we have to pay for shipping, and gas prices affect our company. All these price increases. We're seeing a jump anywhere from 5% to 50% in costs right now. And I think every business owner wants to see lower costs and lower taxes and all that kind of stuff to run a profitable business.
Yeah.
So that's been quite a pivot here and on our mind financially and on our focus here in the last 3 years.
Yeah, and how is that impacting your growth then as a business?
Yeah, it is. It's impacting, I think, a lot of people's growth. We're up 260% in sales from last year. We're up 400% in placements in chain stores from last year. So while we're on an uptick there, we could be even more, if we had some lower costs there.
Yeah, and all and the economy and the inflation and all of that, you might be increasing sales, but your profit may not be increasing because of all of that, right? And that's the struggle.
Exactly.
Yeah,
exactly.
So, just now, fast forward and looking at what comes next. Where do you see Armed Forces Brewing Company in the next 3 to 5 years?
Yeah, so our first goal is to grow the company, scale out. We have national demand. We actually have global demand as well. We're going to be exporting our beer. We're on a national plan with AFES and Nexcom. Those are the military exchange stores. So we're going to be exporting our beer overseas to those overseas-based stores as well, and probably hit civilian distribution as well in Europe and over in Asia. Getting our company profitable is a huge focus in our 3 to 5 year plan. It would be nice to look at an IPO down the road. That's obviously a strategy for the company. You never know what can happen in the beer industry. There's acquisitions going on just about every year, every month. I think the word got out that Suntory is trying to buy Boston Beer Company, which is Sam Adams. We don't know if that's true or not, but these are the things that we think about and that we got into our 3 and 5 year business plan. We want to open up more tap rooms, especially in military markets around the country. And keep growing, grow. The world is our oyster right now. We're in 10 states. We need to be in 50.
So what's been your approach to goal setting? I mean, how many goals do you set at a time?
Great. Because that's a great question, because you don't want to grow too fast. It's a big balancing act, and we have to balance our production along with our sales growth and how many states we can open. We just bought this brewing facility in Norfolk, Virginia. It's a regional sized brewing facility. It's got an output of about 22,000 to 26,000 barrels. And that's if you're really pushing it. That's enough beer to supply the mid-Atlantic up the eastern seaboard north and over to Ohio. So we just got in there. We fixed a lot of the mechanics in there and are actually adding some more equipment on there, like a de-alkalizer where we can pull out all the alcohol and make a true zero non-alcoholic beer and get that out to market. So we're doing a lot of balancing here right now and doing a lot of planning so we don't overextend ourselves, but we keep growing the company responsibly.
Well, Alan, we've certainly covered a lot of ground in our conversation today. And for those who are watching, I highly encourage you to save this and come back a few times for additional watches, because there is a lot of great nuggets here. So as we begin to wrap up, I just have a few rapid fire questions, just quick top of the head answers for each. Okay. What's the key to success for you?
Don't take no for an answer.
So what is one piece of advice for other business owners?
Don't take no for an answer. You got a dream, you're sinking your heart and soul into it. Business owners, don't take no for an answer. Watch the financial health of your company and put aside some money for a rainy day and keep it there. Keep it there.
Yeah, that emergency fund. So if you had to choose only one area of the business you could immediately improve tomorrow, what would it be?
Oh my gosh, one area of the business. Customer service. Okay. We already have, because we all have a passion for our veterans and active duty and law enforcement and just people in general. I always want to raise the level of customer service.
Hey, how can others learn more about you, your company, and how can they get in contact?
Pretty easy. They can go to www.ownarmedforcesbrewingco.com. That is where you can check out just about everything about our company. We have armedforcesbrewingco.com as well. We're launching a new upgraded, really incredibly cool website here pretty soon. But if you want to invest in our company, you can for a minimum of $200. You do not have to be an accredited investor. I do a weekly or bi-weekly update video in the shareholders portal on the back end. They can log in with a password and they can watch an update video for me. It's just, we don't just take their money and run. They're actually really involved in our company.
Yeah, that wraps up the interview, Alan. Nice job. Thanks so much for taking time with us today.
Thank you.